Hey, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny, and once again, we have a nice Alibaba video. Alibaba, the corporation, is literally backing up the dump truck in terms of cash on their share price right now. And I wanted to give a little bit of talk about it and do some numbers on terms of what their share price has been.
Yeah, if you like this kind of entertaining stock market content where it's two stupid guys trying to figure everything out, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Okay? Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks.
All right. I figure Munger's picture really fits this one well because he's got that, he just knew this was going to happen, basically. That's what I see when I look at his face right there.
Yeah, it's the timing. You never know how low it's gonna go. Like, I mean, we were talking about how low this is at 200.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, in fairness, 200 is not really far off from the historic kind of buyback price. You'll see it here in a second. So this was the news headline that really kind of popped the stock. They had previously authorized up to $15 billion in share repurchases, was supposed to carry through to the end of this year, 2022. They had already upsized that from previous 10 billion. Now they came out this week and announced they're going to actually upsize that again to $25 billion towards share repurchases, but they're extending it out till March 2024. This was the press release that was actually put out by Alibaba on this news. And it has some interesting tidbits in here. We'll peek out here in a second. But it told you basically as of March 18th, 2022, the company had repurchased 56.2 million ADSs, American Depository Shares, for about $9.2 billion in cash. So they still have, what's that, $15.8 billion of this share repurchase authorized and not yet used.
Wait,
Considerable amount of money.
over what period of time did they buy the 9.2 billion?
It was from the original time the first authorization was put out there, so it's over the last year or so, basically.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty good though, because Amazon did the exact opposite. They
I know,
announce
right?
something and then they increase it, but they don't actually do anything. So,
Yeah, I know. They've been using it. It was originally designed to be like a 2-year repurchase program. They also appointed a new outside kind of board member, which is always a good thing to have outside voices, especially someone who's kind of really familiar with capital markets and management here. Sounds like this is really more of his background is in finance. So I think it'll be good. How much of that in terms of moving the stock price? Yeah, I mean, the share repurchase was really the major driver, right?
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So this is from their previous quarterly report. This is as of December 31st, 2021, that they had repurchased 10 million ADSs, and had done a $1.4 billion in that quarter. Right, the total for the program as of that point was 42.2 million ADSs and $7.7 billion in cash that they had used during that time period. Right, they had a little bit more than half of what was authorized. Right.
Right.
So I did some math on it and try to figure out what their cost basis was. So as of December 31st, they had done that 42.2 million shares, $7.7 billion. It was the average per share ADS of $182. That was their own cost basis basically during this repurchase program up to that point.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Ha-
not terrible.
yeah, I mean, I was saying about the $200 per share, right?
Yeah.
That's higher than our cost basis, at least on Alibaba, I guess.
Yeah.
Something.
We keep trickling down and buying more. I'm at like 130-ish. I can't remember.
Yeah, nice.
Um,
So they did the same thing. This is as of these updated numbers that just came out this week. So as you can see, that they bought quite a bit more back, right? 56.2 million now, as opposed to 42.2. That's over the past 3 months, basically. Not even like 2.5 months. And they brought their cost basis down from 182 down to 163. So their dollar cost averaging down too.
yeah, that's a no. It's good to see them actually use this because there's nothing that pisses me off more is like when Amazon. I think MU did it too. I
Uh-huh.
can't remember. They're like, yeah, we're $10 billion over the next 5 years, and like 4 years go by. We're actually gonna do 20. We haven't started yet, but another 5 years. It's like, come on, dude. Like, get your. All
I
right.
love it. So I ran the numbers specifically on the first quarter here, and the first quarter of the buybacks were basically 14 million shares, $1.5 billion in cash, and for about $107 per ADS, which is right about where the stock closed as of this most recent trading day. So
You got to think if you're them. This is one of those things. I don't see it going lower than 70, right? But we've said that before. If you're them,
yeah,
I feel like the money. for value over time, I don't think you're ever going to get again right now. I would spend like half of that extra, like 8 billion, if it hits 100, and like
Okay.
5 billion now. Like I just don't think they're ever going to get that good of a deal again.
Yeah, they seem to have increased their rate slightly. It was $1.4 billion last quarter, and so far 1.5 billion for up till March 18th. They still had a couple of weeks left, basically. So they may exceed it slightly. They weren't by all means burning down the barn in terms of their pace of share repurchases, but they had increased it slightly as the share price came down.
I think I would just double down right now. All right.
I love it.
Here's the chart. Once again, I have all these purple resistance lines up. As you can see, they definitely do respect everything. To make this easier for my point here, I'm going to move some of these off the screen so then it's way less confusing. So just don't worry about this because I want to show you one thing. So we're in this channel that's just going up and down and up and down, right? We dip below it, came up with a vengeance. This is the 100 moving average, this dashed gray line. All right? This is kind of funny because I do day trade. I'm still learning. I'm doing all this stuff. But my most successful strategy, the one that I always lose money at first and just get it back with that strategy, is anytime you see a spinning top off of 100 moving average on a small time frame, you short on the next low.
All right.
Which is right here. So, not great for me. But it is banging up against this support line here. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. You have to have a lot of momentum to break this. And a lot of momentum to break this 200 moving average. A lot.
Yeah.
So, usually, it doesn't just go up, pierce, and just keep going. You got to bang up against it a couple times. That's
describing your Friday night.
That's what she said.
Perfect.
I love it. But yeah, I mean, range bound is okay. Hey, I put my covered call strategy back on. I think I went with 140 strike price this time, trying to make back some of that premium that I had lost on repurchasing my previous calls. So
yeah, the next one is
what are you gonna
139. I like 140. I might join you in 140. I'll join you in 140.
We'll see.
I'll do some calls.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, I still try to trust the strategy, although it's been a little bit volatile. It hasn't been the best year so far for it. Over the long term, I think it still makes sense.
Yeah, I was telling Vinny it was about a week ago when Bob was at 70, and I was like, man, if it hits like 68, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of leap calls, and then it didn't, and I would have already like tripled my money. Shoot.
Yeah, it would have been disgusting.
It would have been gross. All right, guys, let us know how your position's going and if you like the news.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one.